It's the NFL on EA Sports. And the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Ravens and the Silver and Black on Monday night.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Las Vegas, Nevada. The atmosphere here, electric. No matter the venue, the home folks love their silver and black. They are fired up as their Raiders get set to face off with the Baltimore Ravens. Brandon Garden with Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at our two quarterbacks in this one. Kind of an interesting pairing. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens, Derek Carr of the Raiders.
Yeah, you got one guy who's part of the new breed, the run and gun, beat you with my legs kind of guys. And then on the other side, you've got your traditional pocket passer. He'll stand in there and throw the ball downfield no matter what the turbulence is around him in the pocket.
And we are underway at Allegiant Stadium. And he opts to not bring this one out. The first drive will start at the 25. The Raiders getting ready to go to work for the first time, and they're led by their quarterback in his 8th season now in silver and black, Derek Carr.
And the rumors were pretty strong. The teams asked about him in the offseason. But for once, got a pretty firm not available from the Raiders. Now in his 8th season as a Raider, still yet to appear in a playoff game. But last year, really solid numbers again. A third straight 4,000-yard campaign, 27 touchdowns, just 9 interceptions, and the highest analytical rating of his career. Derek Carr is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Drake. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. It's a gain of 9 yards, and it'll be second and about a yard.
I like it, I like it, I like it. Get everyone involved in the passing game, and you know you can create those great mismatches throwing it to your guys out of the backfield.
And on the first drive, that can also help establish some rhythm, right?
I think so, and gets everyone involved. They feel like they're part of it.
And he's going to go down, but a penalty marker too, and they might very well have jumped the snap there. And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Carr defers to Jacobs on the draw. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
Here's Carr to throw. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. And a good stiff arm there before he's brought down on a nice little gain. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Derek Carr, very precise thrower of the football. What's the game plan for going up against him? Yeah, it used to be take away the short stuff, I know, but he's more than a dink and dunker, right?
And you are right about that. Great analysis of him because he has evolved as a thrower. Now he can push the ball downfield, but still, the number one things you want to take away, short passes, intermediate passes. So sharp, precise, and accurate, you got to set on those routes in order to cause him problems.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage, so they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Throwing now is Carr.
And he's got the hook up to Ruggs.
Yeah, he will go out right near the 35-yard line. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
And Henry Ruggs was the first wide receiver taken in the draft a year ago, and he absolutely fit the Raiders' profile of speed, speed, speed. Didn't have the immediate impact that they had hoped, just 26 catches. Hoping to up his game in 2021, he makes a nice catch there.
Got a man, it's Darren Waller. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
Okay, I'm not so great at math, but I just looked over at our statistician, Marvin, and he signaled to me 5 for 5 to get things started here on this opening drive. Where I come from, that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Now, what do you do defensively to adjust?
Well, this is where you've got to make a decision as a defensive coordinator. Do you really get after the quarterback? Or maybe you tighten down on the receivers, bump them off of their routes, chip away at their timing so things aren't as precise as they've been so far in this game.
Now this goes out wide for Drake.
Touchdown Raiders! Kenyon Drake from 8 yards out. And the Raiders drive right down the field and score on the opening drive.
CD, it seemed like they were so focused on the guys out wide, they forgot about him out of the backfield.
That's a really good point because you've got to communicate, and oftentimes when you start counting receivers, that's exactly what you do. You start from the widest receiver, work your way inside. Who gets lost sometimes? The back in the backfield. That's exactly what happened there.
And he got into the end zone. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Well, the Ravens offense set to take over and led by a man still just in his 4th season in the NFL, the 2019 MVP, Lamar Jackson.
The best numbers that Lamar Jackson possesses is that his team wins the vast majority of games that he starts at quarterback. But in addition, 2,900 yards rushing in his career. They know how to build around him and play to his strengths.
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive.
Now a man who began with the Raiders, it's Latavius Murray. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Oh, able to avoid him. And able to use his blockers to get this up over the 40. Not that time for Watkins. That'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's something you have to get ready for defensively, because in today's NFL, teams will use their wide receivers on jet sweeps, end arounds. They'll move them back in the backfield and make them running backs. Partner, this was much more of a tap pass, but effective nonetheless.
And I think both guys love it. If you're a quarterback, it's an easy completion. If you're a wide receiver, you get the easy reception and also a chance to try to make a play with your feet.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Latavius Murray, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. And it's 3rd and short. From the gun, it's Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp.
The defense is always talking about not letting Lamar Jackson get comfortable. A good job there on his opening drive of making him uncomfortable.
And you're talking about doing it so early in the game, because all week long, there's been anxiety on the defensive side of the ball. How do we keep this guy hemmed in? How do we tackle him? To get it done that early, that's got to feel great for them.
So on 4th down, here's Sam Cook to punt it away.
Hunter Renfrow deep to return for the Raiders.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10.
Well, CD, as the Raiders come out here, let's talk about Las Vegas for a bit. Last year, you remember, they started 6-3, but limped to the finish line 8-8, and it was actually the 17th time in the last 18 years that they did not have a winning season. So, a lot to prove for Las Vegas here in the 2nd year in that city.
For an organization whose slogan is commitment to excellence, those numbers don't even sound right. And they believe it's time to make that move and get back to the playoffs. You mentioned 6-3 start last year. Didn't get it done. Offensively, I like them. Derek Carr, quarterback, heck of a player. They run it well with Josh Jacobs. They need improved play from their receivers. And on defense, they need improved play all the way around, especially rushing the quarterback. They think that they can be a playoff team if they get off to a good start.
And they'll finally have fans in that shiny big building Monday night, week 1, when they host the Ravens.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
Let's go, D. Mike, 6.
Throwing his car on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense?
On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt.
James Prochet deep for Baltimore.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over.
Here come the Ravens again. A team that in 2020 went 11-5. Remember, they went to Tennessee and surprised the Titans by defeating them in the wild card round. But, Charles, big news in the preseason for them. J.K. Dobbins out for the year with that injury. So how do you see 2021 playing out?
Well, they definitely wanted to throw the football with better efficiency. And even with J.K. Dobbins out, I don't expect Lamar Jackson to throw it more. Okay, Gus Edwards will fill in at running back. Justice Hill behind him, and don't be surprised the Ravens don't add a runner at some point early in the season. The defense is still strong and stout, A lot of people wondering if they're in decline. I don't think so. I think that this team is still ready to go and still ready to contend for a division title and maybe even get back to the Super Bowl. But they have to throw it better, and the running game still will be predominant, and Lamar Jackson will lead the way.
And week 1, they go out to Allegiant Stadium to face Las Vegas. First time that building will be packed with fans. Should be an interesting environment. On second down, here's the option.
And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37.
Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a third down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Play action. It's Jackson. Looking right side, and that's complete to Watkins. And he will have a Ravens first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5. Jackson to Watkins there for a Baltimore first.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 3rd down, Jackson.
And this is caught by Watkins.
And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Play action. Now Jackson. Slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. A good rally to the football. Keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Jackson. That's taken in by Duvernay. Touchdown! Devin Duvernay. 32 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Justin Tucker for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble and bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays for one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Here's Carr. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
2nd and 6. No, scratch that. 2nd and 7. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. To throw his Carr. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Instead of a 3rd and 1 run, they go pass and they get 12 yards out of it.
They brought in the heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play, but we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one, wound up hitting him for a first down.
Carr now on 1st down. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Henry Ruggs, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw, it's Carr. And that's caught. It's Bryan Edwards. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. These two teams all tied after 1. Second quarter from Vegas. The homestanding Raiders with a football here, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Again, they'll throw with Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again.
No tight end had more catches in 2020 than Darren Waller with 107. The 3rd most by a tight end in history. Maybe we should just take the label off and call him an outstanding receiver.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. Trucks over him. And down inside the 15 he goes. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will.
And there's a typical run by Josh Jacobs, one where as a defender, you have to make a decision about how you approach him because he's awfully physical with the ball in his hands. 12 touchdowns on the ground last year after 7 as a rookie, and he was a 1,000-yard rusher in each of his first 2 seasons. Wouldn't surprise me with enough touches, he could easily crack the 1,500-yard mark.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Carr. Quick hitter here, it's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. A gain of 8 there on the 8th play of the drive.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Tyus Bowser. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
And this came from the edge, and those pass rushers, they have so many tricks of the trade to get around blockers. They have a lot of tools in their kit. This was pure speed and athleticism on this play, though, and they could barely get a glove on him before he got the quarterback on the ground.
He dumps it off to Drake. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the 1st down as he's tackled at the 1. It goes as a gain of 9, and it moves the chains.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a 1st down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Now Carr. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Edwards. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. It looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Here's Carr to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it that time to Bryan Edwards, but now it's 3rd and goal.
Now we've got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3. Carr now on 3rd and goal. Yeah, he's got it. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal.
Now, that's going to be a tough one to explain when they get together and watch the game film, isn't it? I mean, they had the right call, had the out route. He's got to know where the first down sticks are, yet he steps out of bounds that close. Not their best play.
The kick by Carlson is good. So 3 points on the board, as easy a field goal as you're going to get, but I can see you shaking your head.
I love that peripheral vision of yours, partner, because to me, if it's the 4th quarter and you're up 6, I get it. But now, even if you run and don't get in, you're still setting them up to go a long field, 98, 99-yard drive. How do you look at your defense and not give them that opportunity?
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
This Ravens offense heads back out there, led by Lamar Jackson. 5 for 5 that last drive. Touchdown pass as well. He was clicking. Receivers, I don't want to be cliche, but running really solid routes too.
And what I love about it is when you look across any team, all right, the body types of the receivers are usually different. The way that they get open, different as well. Some of them use power to get open. Some of them use those head fakes and subtle moves. Some of them just use pure speed. And the really good ones, when they're established, they know how to push off at the end of a route, too.
Being chased out left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Casey Hayward with a sack on the well-timed corner blitz.
I thought there at the end he may have had a chance to release that, but that pocket closed a little too quickly, and down he went.
Yeah, he was certainly trying to do everything he could to extend the life of the play, probably counting in his head 1, 2, and then he ran out of time.
Behind the chain, 2nd and 12.
From the pistol, they run it with Murray. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Jackson from the shotgun. And this is going to be incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Las Vegas' offense back out there ready to go.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at the 34.
He'll give it to Jacobs to start the drive.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it.
It was Tyus Bowser that time who made the play on the defensive side.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Working from the gun, it's Carr.
He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off here by Jimmy Smith.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
And our attention here turns to Latavius Murray. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. After the interception, here's Jackson.
That's into the hands of Crochet.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
And that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Second and 11.
On the delay, this is Murray. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss there, now 3rd and 14.
This defense is really thrown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. They stay on the ground. This time it's Williams. And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a first down as he stopped at the 48. He's able to chew up 8 yards on the carry there, but still 4th down upcoming.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down, seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to the first down.
Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for Baltimore. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, because he's looked pretty good to this point. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And that'll be incomplete.
Well, CD, something that we've done for a number of years as the season gets going is we get predictions on each side. Let's start with the AFC. Who do you have in 2021 as your division winners?
Well, let's go to the East, and I think Buffalo repeats, although New England, they got better in the offseason, and despite starting a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones, I think they'll make a nice run at the Buffalo Bills this year. In the North, what a battle you have there. 3-way. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I like Baltimore to still win the division, but Cleveland will be right there, and Pittsburgh will make a run at the playoffs. In the South, I think it's Tennessee's division to lose. Indianapolis had a number of injuries in the offseason, and Jacksonville and Houston, they're trying to get there. And then out West, it's still Kansas City. But I love what the Los Angeles Chargers have done in the offseason.
All right, CD, and then if you had to pick, who do you have winning the AFC?
Well, I'm going to go against type here, Brandon, because teams aren't supposed to sustain as long as the Kansas City Chiefs have. But despite a retooled offensive line, I do think that they get back there again. What happened to them in the Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, that serves as great motivation. They want to get back and atone themselves.
Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. From the gun, it's Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Second and 10. Now Carr. Looking again for Waller, and he's got him again. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Carr to throw again. And now the ball's out. Carr lost it. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And his guys will set up shop at midfield at the 50-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. A handoff. It's Murray. And he was able to shed one tackle but could not get away from there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Now an option play on 2nd down. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Raiders pick it up. The 40. The 20. 10. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. And that's a linebacker showing he can move pretty good with the football in his hand.
That's not just a short shuttle now. He took him on a pretty good distance, didn't he? Did you get the 40 time on that?
I didn't, but he got 6 points out of it. I know that was a great play for that defensive unit. Carlson now to add the extra point. It's good to make it 17-7. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. On the return, Devin Duvernay. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
Let's go.
Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Now it's Jackson. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Marquise Brown is definitely a guy who can take the top off of the defense and make the big catches downfield. Also known as Hollywood, now in his 3rd season from Oklahoma, wants to make more catches like the one we just saw there, the routine variety.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. And that is incomplete. Marquise Brown was the intended target, and now it's 2nd down.
Similar to a shooter in basketball who just connected on the previous shot, they run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw is Jackson. Flush to his right. And he'll even avoid the contact in the end as he will finally slide to a halt. It's a gain of 34. Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. Jackson on 1st down. He's got his man. It's Andrews. 7 yards, the pickup there. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson toward the sideline. He will have the 1st down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Jackson now. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Devin Duvernay with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Ravens draw a bit closer. Oh, such great concentration. They're going right up against the side of the end zone, but able to get the feet in bounds.
There are so many things that go into that catch, and you just mentioned the concentration, being able to catch the football, get your feet down in bounds, hang on to it all the way through the process of the...
And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
After review of the play, ruling on the field stands.
So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. Now Tucker to add the PAT. And this is up and good to make it a 17-14 game. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You'd better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
On first down, Carr. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down. Henry Ruggs, the intended receiver. And it's second down.
Hey, let's go back, Charles, to your preseason predictions. You gave us what you thought on the AFC. How about the NFC side in 2021?
All right, how about the Washington football team winning the NFC East? I think in the North, Green Bay comes back and represents again. In the South, Tampa Bay, who finished second in their division last year to New Orleans, they win the division this time. And then out West, the Los Angeles Rams with their new quarterback, Matthew Stafford. And I like the Los Angeles Rams in an upset over Tampa Bay to win the NFC.
And then earlier you said the Chiefs on the AFC side, so who do you have here winning it all?
Well, winning it all is going back to Kansas City, baby. Patrick Mahomes for the 3rd straight year in the Super Bowl. This time he wins it, and he'll be 2 for 3.
Yeah, I think I like the Chiefs as well, CD, but man, an AFC title again, a rematch between them and the Bills. It would kind of be cool to see the Bills back on top in the AFC, but I think you're right. I've got the Chiefs in the end as well.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll kick it away for the second time. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs.
The Ravens offense back out there.
They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. From the gun, Jackson. That'll be caught by the big tight end, Andrews. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Jackson. Over the middle, complete. That's Williams. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing again on second down. Jackson, he'll take a shot for the end zone. And that'll be taken in by Andrews for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 36 yards. And the Ravens have retaken the lead. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
And I believe they buzzed down. They're going to take another look at this play with all reviews coming from the replay official here in the final 2 minutes of the half. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Tucker now to add the point after. It's up and good to make it 21-17. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it's capped off by the Baltimore score. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Now to return it, here's Kenyon Drake. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Time again to see Josh Jacobs and this Vegas offense operate. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
19 seconds showing to play in the half as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We saw a terrific first half from the dual-threat quarterback, Lamar Jackson. First, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the Ravens. And their passing game has been the reason why they lead thus far. They've had great success moving the ball through 2 quarters of play. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they too found some success throwing the football. But I think both teams would say there's room for improvement in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. It's been a shootout so far. We'll see which defense can make the adjustments as we get back underway in the second half.
On the return is Duvernay.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Lamar Jackson heading back out as we check out our players' spotlight. And a trio of touchdown passes so far. They've got the lead as well. All is good in their football world at this point.
And it's so much fun for our colleagues, right? Think about our producer, our director, everyone putting together these shots. Wouldn't you love to be in the truck right now and hear him calling for it? Give me that one, give me that one, give me that one. And we just saw 3 beautiful touchdown passes.
Now he's looking for 4. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They go with Murray again. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 3rd down, Jackson. It's Williams on the catch.
And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
Well, for that being an option play, there really weren't too many options available for him, were there?
No, there weren't, and at least he was able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so they didn't lose anything, but you're exactly right. Nowhere to go.
Here's 2nd and 10.
From the gun, it's Jackson. Got him in. It's Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there, because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
First down, and they'll try to run the option left. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
A little do-it-yourself run right there, and a nice gain.
And I like that he knew that that was about all he was going to get, so he did a nice job of protecting himself, took care of the football, took what the defense gave him. If they continue to allow him to do that, they'll find their way taking what they can all the way to the end zone. That's a nice job there defensively, being able to diagnose that little touch pass. They saw it coming, converged on him before he could get much out of it.
Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. They'll run here. It's Murray. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Jackson slings it to Andrews, and it's complete. The tight end has it. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
From the red zone now, here's Jackson on 1st down. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Devin Duvernay there to make the grab. And the Ravens take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Tucker now for the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially, but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Hey, we're good. 180.
To throw, it's Carr. Renfro bringing it in over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A Raider first down, Carter Renfro.
And Hunter Renfro has given them great production for a 5th-round pick. 56 catches last season, and we know he's famous for being 3rd in Renfro, but I think he's pretty good on 1st and 2nd down, too.
93. Single slot.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus, and indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Carr completes it. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On first down, Jacobs. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 17-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there at a Raider first.
And Brian Edwards, the third of 3 high draft picks the Raiders used on receivers last year, if you count Lynn Bowden. They got him in the 3rd round out of South Carolina. A big, strong, physical receiver. They expect more catches like the one we just saw there.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Into the red zone, it's Carr. It's complete to Drake. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll make it 2nd and short.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Carr toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
We've got to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. To throw is Carr. Touchdown, Raiders! Derek Carr with a touchdown pass to Henry Ruggs. And the Raiders are back within a score. That's one of those long drives where not only do you score, but you really tire out the defense, too.
That's a great point because now they've been on the field for a long time. Them going to the bench, trying to make adjustments, trying to figure things out, but they'll do so fatigued.
John Gruden never wanted to play it safe. His guys will go for 2. Carr will look to throw. It's caught at the 1. And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. I guess the coach looked at the 2-point cheat sheet, said go for it, get it to a 3-point game, and they did it.
Yeah, and sometimes you just throw out time of game. You don't worry about that. There's just a feel sometimes in making that call, and he felt good about what he had for a 2-point conversion, and now they're only down 3 and feeling great about themselves.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. Taken at the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
Let's go. Man, I've seen that play a couple of times already.
Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And the numbers for the last drive, and he was perfect, which maybe isn't surprising because he has not missed a pass in this game yet.
And it lets you know just how precise things have to be for a quarterback to be perfect because that means the line's blocking really well, no one's dropping any of the passes thrown to them, and the quarterback is accurate. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a no-hitter or a perfect game, isn't it? He's the principal guy, but he needs a lot of help.
Time to find out if he can keep that perfect game going here, partner.
They'll start with the option.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now a give. This is Murray. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
The Raiders call on a nickel set here for 3rd down. Now it's Jackson. Wide open is Watkins. He's got it. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th. Here's Sam Cook now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight.
Here's Renfro to return.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
From the 44, Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. First down, Raiders, Carr to Waller.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Throwing on first down is Carr. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
Chuck Clark,
His 2nd sack of the night.
a CD. You know, so often we talk about quarterbacks holding on to the ball too long. Well, we can't say that there. He had no time to do much of anything.
And they decided to go with the safety blitz there. And look, if that gets picked up, quarterback really has the advantage then because he'll have more time to throw the football and some wide open space. But when it doesn't, that's a guy who gets a free run into the backfield, and oftentimes the QB ends up on his backside as he did there.
As we check the next-gen stats, you'll see he had precious little time to do anything with the football there.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Carr. And that is incomplete.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out.
Here's A.J. Cole now
as he's on to punt for Vegas. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Back now in Las Vegas. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Throwing is Jackson.
And, he's unable to hold on to that defensively. A potential game changer, but it falls incomplete.
I think he's taking an awful chance with the football right there. You've got a lead, you've got to protect it, and he's taking chances putting it out there in a little bit of jeopardy.
Especially in a spot like this, fourth quarter, as you said, trying to cling to that advantage.
Yeah, that one probably should have been picked, huh?
On 3rd down, Murray. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled.
44 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell him to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
They run the option here on 1st and 10.
The quick feet by Jackson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the 1st down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A gain of just a yard, but it's a 1st down.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation when they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. When tapping those toes, he tried to get both in bounds. He could not do it, though.
In tap dance parlance, could not complete the shuffle. All right, needed to get that shuffle down with both feet, not just one.
Is that what they say?
There it is. Put a little sand down on the stage.
I'll take your word for it, my man. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
John Harbaugh going to roll the dice. They're going for it on 4th down. They're going to run it with Murray. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call.
Holding offense.
Now, hold on a second. Why would they decline that? Charles?
I don't have a good answer for you, but let's work the math here a little bit. If you take the penalty, you get 5 yards. Minimum.
You're in the positive in the yardage, and you get to rerun the down you just had.
I like that. I like that little extra on top of the whole thing. This makes 0 sense.
Carr now on first down. And this is incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Carr. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Pernell McPhee always a threat to find the QB, and he gets to him there. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
So after the sack, Carr in Las Vegas with a 3rd and long. Carr now to throw. He'll let this go deep for Ruggs. This is caught inside the 15. Touchdown. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr, and the Raiders have retaken the lead. And most people think of Derek Carr kind of as a guy who excels throwing the short pass, but he can dial it up when need be.
And that is absolutely demoralizing for a defense because you've got the offense on the ropes. It's 3rd down. You're trying to get off the field, and then wham, you have a letdown in the secondary, and you give up a big one.
Carlson on for the PAT. And that will make this a 4-point game. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And it ends with a Las Vegas touchdown. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Now, the bad news for them, they've seen that cushion they once had totally evaporate, and they're working from behind. The good news, they now have the opportunity to regain the lead right back. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 18. Jackson now. Flushed out right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
A good gain on 1st has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Jackson going to hold on to it again. A strong running. And he's going to have a Ravens 1st down as the tackle made here at the 36. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone who has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him, and try and keep him in the pocket.
Yeah, it'll be especially critical here as we come down the stretch in the 4th. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down. Going deep here for Watkins. And this is incomplete.
Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there, and it's 3rd down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
An important play right here, 3rd and 10.
And I would expect pressure here.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And that is incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts. This time on 3rd down.
Here's Sam Cook now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Henry Ruggs and the Raiders set to go back to work. When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's seeing the payoff. You know, getting the ball to that guy means yardage, and as we've seen, touchdowns in this game. So I think both of them get more and more excited about the possibilities as things continue on.
Yeah, so far it's been over 100 yards and the 2 scores. And now Waller going to have a chance to run this. And he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Tavon Young in on the tackle.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, Kai just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
2nd and 9. Shotgun now for Carr. A 1st down and more for Drake. And all the way up to the 46. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Yeah, big play there. And when you have a running back that you can use like a wide receiver, when he has that kind of versatility, you do as they did there. Get him out of the backfield and give those defensive backs something else to worry about.
Carr now on 1st down. A short one here, secured by the tight end Waller. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around the training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach? He's in big trouble.
And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. They've got another 1st down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. Now Carr. That's caught by Waller out left side. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. The Raiders on third down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that'll make this a 7-point game. And from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
After the made field goal, Carlson now sets up to kick this away. On the return is Duvernay. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 23. Now Jackson. And he checks this one down to Williams. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now a 2nd down run for Murray. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 52 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Jackson from the shotgun. He finds Latavius Murray. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Latavius Murray, 51 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying this game here in the 4th. Well, that is a running back who was not about to go down easily. He fought his way through the contact until the seas opened up for him.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see. A lot of times on these long touchdowns, You'll say he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered, and he just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good, and we are tied here in the fourth quarter. A drive there of just 4 plays, and it's capped off by the Baltimore score. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter.
And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line.
And now here come the Raiders.
Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this fourth quarter to try to grab that lead back.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
He starts by handing this off to Drake.
And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now Carr. Looking sideline, incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 7. From the gun, it's Carr.
He'll let this go deep for Ruggs.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Fair to say the secondary play, whichever side you're on, hasn't really been a glowing exhibition so far, but a nice job there to prevent a long completion.
I agree with you, but at some point, someone had to make a play and try and stop this exhibition of almost speed racing that we've been watching, huh?
Yeah, it has been quarterback and receiver dominated. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away.
We got this.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field.
Excellent job by their defense to force the punt and provide them with this opportunity, all tied in the fourth quarter.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27.
And they'll run the option to start the drive.
He can't get him down. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper.
Well, that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a score to break this tie. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Jackson connecting with Andrews and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Here a throw taken in by Watkins. A gain of 6 there on first.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
The Ravens moving quickly here as the clock runs. Jackson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
So many times we talk about having good eye discipline when you're playing defense, making sure your eyes are in the proper place on a given play. Looks like that discipline came to the front there, didn't it? They were able to hold him for a short gain when he took off running.
Jackson. He'll drop this down to Williams. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a 9-yard gain, and it'll keep the drive moving. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10. They run again with Murray. He's seen a ton of action tonight. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Second down at 7. Again, it's Murray. Well, still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
At this stage, you've got to hustle. Got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. And this one is right down Broadway. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. On the return comes Drake.
Get ready.
this one, partner, was fun down to the very end. They got the points late, right before the whistle. Then the ensuing kickoff. They were hoping for magic on the other side, but couldn't get that spark.
Fun if you won, and fun for us because we got to watch it and call it. That magic that you were talking about didn't occur at the end, but what a game all the way through.